Okay, let's move on to the next task. Let's check out our PDF to see what we have to do. Task 4, to paraphrase here, draw a perfect circle and a perfect square and unite the shapes. So they're similar to what you see on the next page. So let's look on page 2 here. For this task, it's these two shapes here, this funny looking square and circle stuck to each other, and this square with a circle cut out of it. I'll show you how to do that with a new tool in Illustrator. So let's go back to Illustrator. Alright, first create a perfect circle. So just like we did before, hit the shape tool, choose ellipse tool, hold down the shift key, click, hold, and drag. Now the spec said it had to be black with no stroke on it. So let's go over here. The easiest way to do this is just to click the default fill and stroke. So now we have a white fill and a black stroke, which is not what we want. But if we hit this little curly Q arrow, we now have a black fill and a white stroke. The specs say no stroke, so bring the frame forward, hit the cross out eventually. There we go. So now I just have a black stroke. If I look at my perfect circle, I have black stroke, no fill. Then the next part of that instruction says we have to unite this with a perfect square. So let's hit the drop down. Let me do this again. Hit the drop down menu. Make sure you choose rectangle tool. Click, hold, and drag. Make a perfect square. And let's look at my PDF again. I want to make something similar to this. It doesn't have to look exact, just similar. So here's what we do. Enable the black arrow. Drag the square, drag the shape so they overlap each other. Okay. So they're overlapping. Here's the square, here's the circle. These are two distinct and separate objects. I want them to unite. So this is new material. So with the black arrow enabled, do what's called in Adobe World a Marquee Selection, which is you just click, hold, and drag and select both objects at once. And you can see the paths illuminated. So both objects are selected. I can see a bounding box. Now here's the new stuff. Click Window, Pathfinder, and let me move this palette will come up. This is a really you'll use this a lot in your workings with Illustrator. It's very helpful. With a Pathfinder, we can unite filled shapes. We can, if you cursor over each of these options, you can see what they do. Unite minus front is really, I use that quite a bit. And there's these other ones I'll maybe talk about later in the semester. But for the unite and minus front are the two most used tools. Okay, so anyway, you have this palette up, make sure both objects are selected, and just click Unite. And now you can see how the path changed. This is now one object united. Now if you go to the specs again, it said make a square with a circle cutout. So here's what you do. Draw the square first, just like we did. Same specs, black, no fill, no stroke, I'm sorry. Hold down the shift key, make yourself a nice square. The stroke and fill settings are okay. The task is to make a circle cutout, so go to the shape tool again, ellipse tool. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to draw the circle off to the side here. And with my black arrow, choosing my black arrow selection tool, it's called a selection tool, I call it black arrow. Hover over it and I'm going to put the circle on top of the square. Since I made the circle after the square, the circle is going to be on top. So let me do a marquee selection, select both circle and square, and then I'm going to do minus front. Just click minus front, and that's what you get. And that ends that task. The key thing is to make the circle second, make the square first, make the circle second, put the circle on top of the square, and then you can do the minus front thingy. No muss, no fuss. Alright, that ends that task.